guys. I'm Danny Johnson, CEO at TPP, The Positive Porpoise.
I'm Jason Miller from Fins Up SoCal Fan Club.
I'm Scott Howell from Atlanta Dolphin Club.
Mark Angelo, NorCal Dolphin Club.
And you're listening to Clock Blockers, Miami fans' #1 morning show.
Run it, 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 run it.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Stephen D., and welcome to Flip Floppers. I mean, Clock Blockers. All right. So if y'all didn't watch last night, y'all were watching my man TD Fins talk. I was on his panel to the wee early hours in the morning. So I woke up a little late this morning, so I apologize for my tardiness. That's one. Number two, I'll embrace the flip floppers. I will embrace it. If y'all gonna give me the label, I'll embrace it. Okay. Welcome to Flip Floppers, home of the #1 flip flopping Miami fan. Your boy Stephen D. Yeah, I said it. I just want to win. That's all I want to do. I just want to win. Good morning, family. Good morning, Finlaws. What is going on? Super excited. You guys are here on Clock Blockers, home of the #1 Miami fan morning show. Super excited. Y'all are the best fans in the world. I had such a fun time last night. I'm not even going to lie. I even texted TD afterwards. I'm like, I ain't had that much fun in a minute. Yeah, so it was fun hanging out last night with my man. So I hope you guys had a good time too. Guys, if you haven't done so already, please go hit that like button. Go hit it. Go tap it. Give me the thumbs up. Here, I'm going to do it like this. Look, give me the thumbs up. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. All you got to do is just go and boop, boop. Just hit all the notifications. You want to get notified every time I go live? Yes. All right. I want to say good morning to everybody in the chat box. I know a lot of people were on last night. Elder Bruce was giving me the business last night in the chat box. And so were everybody else. Pete was. That's all right. I love you guys. Pete's right. That stream last night was great. It was a good time. Lakers all day got on the stream and was just throwing your boy under the bus. Just throwing him. Nah, I love you, man. Chef Chu said it was a great show last night, Stephen D. Look, it was good. It was good. Stream was fire. Y'all are the best fans in the world. Okay, look, I know we're going to get to it this morning, but let me finish the housekeeping stuff, okay? #1, if you guys want to sign up, become a member of the channel. There's plenty of seats here. There's plenty of seats at the table for you. Sign up, become a member today. That's the first thing. #2, look, if you want to donate to the channel, help the channel grow, use the YouTube Live Super Chat, which is the $ below the chat box. You guys can also use PayPal, which is MSM Podcast Network, or you guys can do Cash App, which is $ MSM Podcast Network. Want to make sure I give a big shout out to Tail Greeter, the sponsor of the show. Absolutely amazing sponsor. I'm going to be hanging out with them all week in Kansas City. I fly out late tomorrow night. Be on the lookout for some live streams Saturday and probably Sunday, where I will be doing live streaming from the Kansas City, Kansas Speedway for the NASCAR race Saturday and Sunday. So I'm excited about that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Why is that? Because Miami Sports Music's going to be on a NASCAR. What? And the number 252 Tail Greeter Miami Sports Music logo car is in the lead. That number 2 Tail Greeter Miami Sports Music car coming down the back straightaway. Josh Balicki. Yeah, that's all you're going to hear on Sunday. Okay, maybe not. But still, I'm going to act like that's all you're going to hear on Sunday. Look, go to tailgreeter.com, download the app, use the promo code Miami Sports Music, and follow Tail Greeter on social media at Tail Greeter. Okay? Okay. Let's see here. Sway2387, best flippers or sell for sure out there. Okay. All right. I do want to say one thing. So last couple of days have been absolutely. I'm not making it. Let me just preface this. Last couple of days have been crazy, and the next few weeks are even going to be crazier. I got Kansas this weekend. Next weekend, I don't have anything, but the week after, I'm going to be in Miami for 9 days for the Dolphins for 2 games and million streams. And then the week after that, I got the MetLife takeover. So the next 3-4 weeks are going to be insane. So I know a couple of y'all had tried to contact me off the, through social media, through personal information, all that. And I've not been available. And that's on me. Because I told a couple of y'all I would talk to y'all, and I apologize. That's all I'm going to say, because there's no excuse for not calling some of y'all back. It's just, the reality is it has been crazy. But that doesn't mean I can't pick up a phone or respond to a text message sometimes or respond to a phone call. So just know that I love y'all. I do not mean anything by it. It is not you all. I've just been straight up crazy, and I know I will be for the next 3 or 4 weeks. Just want to let you all know that, all right? Because, it's going to be a lot of fun, but I don't want y'all to think that I don't love y'all and that some of y'all don't have a real special place inside here, because without y'all, I wouldn't even have a network. So that's real. So I love you guys. I appreciate it. And, All right. It's Thursday. It's Throwback Thursday. Okay, Throwback Thursday is today. Want to remind y'all, all-time versus the Falcons. All-time versus the Falcons. I am super excited because it is Throwback Thursday, which means I got my main man on. Y'all know him. Y'all love him. He's got the voice that'll make y'all weak at the knees. Yeah, I said it. What's up, D-Dub?
Good morning, Stephen. How you doing? It's always good to be here.
Good morning. Good morning, D.
Hey, Throwback Thursday. I want to throw back that Jacksonville game, but other than that, we'll stay on theme.
We're not going back. We going back, but we're not going back. Let's go.
I know, man. I know. But this type of environment right now causes people to want to jump ship. But I'm gonna tell you, don't jump ship. Don't jump ship. Don't jump ship. Okay. This I don't want to call it a rivalry, but this series is very important to one person in particular, because Pat White, Pat White actually got into a game in this series. So it is very important to Pat White because it's one of his more memorable highlights.
No, his most memorable highlight was getting knocked out in the Steelers game. Oh, that's his most memorable one.
Yeah, but this is another one because he actually was on the field. It was where a number 2 draft pick actually saw the field for the Miami Dolphins, which is another thing, but we're not going to get into that.
All right. Before we get into the Falcons, because we going to get into it. I got to address yesterday. We got to address yesterday.
Unfortunately, I was so busy with another commitment, I didn't get a chance to even go on TD's show last night. So I'm totally unknowing as to what occurred on that show. So,
well, first of all, they ganged up on me. The entire group, EM Dolphin, Finsanity, TD, they all ganged up on me. Yeah.
What did you do?
I'm traumatized.
What did you do, Stephen? What did you do?
They said I flip-flop. They said I flip-flop about Tua, and they said my morning show is now called Flip-Floppers. It's not Clock Blockers.
So let me ask you this straight up. Have you flip-flopped on the Dolphins?
That's neither here or there. I refuse. I plead the fifth.
Have you flip-flopped on Tua?
My personal opinion about Tua, I don't think has ever wavered. Okay.
So
I think I am, but according to the panel last night, I wasn't. They were picking on me, D-Dub. All of them. They were all picking on me, okay? And then the chat box got into it, and they hurt my feelings. They hurt my feelings, D-Dub.
Well,
they hurt my feelings.
The people who love you the most are the ones who chastise you the most as well.
True friends stab you in the front. True friends will stab you in the front.
And tell you they doing it.
Boy, they was getting up on me last night. I ain't gonna lie to you. Look, EM did bring up some valid points, but what I'm saying is I've always said this about Tua. I think Tua can be a great quarterback in the NFL. I just don't think it'll be for the Dolphins. Because I don't think we have the talent evaluators, front office, good enough here. And we definitely don't develop talent the right way here. So how is Tua ever going to evolve if we don't have that here? And everybody seems to agree that we don't have that. But I have said the moment Tua goes to a team, Pittsburgh, Washington, Carolina, Denver, wherever, he's going to develop and he's going to be a great quarterback in this league. Mark my words, I do believe that will happen. But then the question goes into, which is what everybody was going crazy about last night, is Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, is he coming to Miami? And so yesterday, from the Houston Chronicle, one of their beat reporters came out and said that a trade is imminent in the next couple of days. And so Twitter went crazy. But I feel like we've been hearing that for the last few weeks, right?
Yes, that is true. True.
But because it came from a beat reporter this time, the whole world, flip-flopped on their feet. The word of the day is flip-flop. You have to try to use it in as many sentences as you can.
Hashtag MSM.
No, don't start that trend. Don't start that hashtag MSM flip-floppers. No, dog. Nope, we ain't playing that. Sean Dixon said, I legit refreshed my phone 100 times yesterday in a 2-hour period. But that what do you think? Like, what are your thoughts? Do you think Tua comes here? Do you not think? Like, give me what you think the situation is.
Watson's coming. Now, whether that's the true answer, I don't know with this current roster, but I do know that, I do feel that the Dolphins have not had a franchise quarterback on their roster since number 13. That being said, they want that. Now, whether that was Tua or somebody else, probably before these rumors, Watson, they have lacked a franchise quarterback. Mm-hmm. And that and O-line have been the Achilles heel of this franchise for a very long time. And they want to change that. Now, I don't know if Greer's going to have enough time to see that change come to profits, but I do know that they feel as though they need to do something to change the trajectory of this team. Mm-hmm. Nobody expected this. And at this point, being, I hate to say it, tied for last in the division is something that was not expected of this team.
No,
so
but
a lot of people have to reevaluate what they're doing.
So my argument last night on the panel was we were trying to find all the scenarios. And so if I'm correct, and I don't believe that I didn't hear incorrectly. So this is kind of what we said. One of two things are going to happen. Either A, he gets traded before the trade deadline to the Miami Dolphins. Like, that happens. Mm-hmm. In fact, I'll do you one better. I think if it's going to happen, it's going to happen before Saturday, which means we got about, 48 hours to see if this goes down. So either that happens, or B, they don't do anything till the off season. But the reality is that Watson said the only team he's going to is Miami. At least that's what the report is. So if that report is true, if Houston waits till the offseason and they know that Houston's only job or Houston is only going to be able to trade with Miami, Miami's going to be like, well, we're going to lower our asking price because the ball is now more in our court, because if he's not going anywhere except Miami, you guys aren't paying him $35 to sit on a bench. So, it goes those are your only two options. You either wait to let him sit the whole year and you trade him in the offseason, but at that point, Dolphins' asking price probably comes down, so you risk not getting more. And so the best time to trade them for Houston is right now. And my pushback is if it came from the Houston Chronicle and it came from Houston, like, isn't this an inside job? Isn't somebody in the front office told, hey, why don't you go tell a beat reporter that we have a trade imminently close to the Dolphins? Let them release that information. But their ulterior motive is to drum up some other team somewhere to come in and swipe in last minute to be able to make a better trade. But their pushback to me last night was, well, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who swipes in, because Deshaun Watson wants to play only for one team, the Miami Dolphins, because he's going to reject all the other trades because there is no trade clause. So, look, I have to admit, they made me, I don't think they made me flip-flop, but they did make me see if a trade's going to go down, it's going to go down before Saturday. And I kind of hope it goes down before 10 a.m. this morning. Please let it go down before 10 a.m. this morning, so I can break it here on Miami Sports Music.
Be nice.
Number one Miami fan morning show, Flip Floppers.
It would be.
I'm going with it this morning. I'm
you embracing it.
I'm embracing it.
You embracing the flip floppiness,
bro. I love me in my flip flops. I look good in my flip flops. I look clean in my flip flops.
You want to put your feet up on camera and show your flip flops.
I ain't about that life. No, y'all want I ain't about that life. No, sir. No, sir. But what do you think about all that? Like, do you agree with that?
The trade, I believe the trade is coming. Now, it's rather Machiavellian in your theory that the Houston Texans would be doing this, but so what? The Dolphins need a franchise quarterback, and maybe that's not.
And here's the reality. I don't want people to get it twisted. I think Tua can be that guy, but I think it's going to take 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years to get there. And I don't think the Dolphins want to wait that long. And I don't blame them for not wanting to wait that long.
Well, like we've had discussions about this. This is a microwave environment right now. Everybody wants it 1 minute ago, rather than waiting like it used to wait a few even 10 years ago.
I brought that point up too. I was like, in the NFL, you used to get 3 or 4 years. You don't get that no more.
Yeah. So GMs, coaches, their shelf life with respect to whether they're successful from the rip is about 3-4 years. QB quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks, same with them. Most of the time they go with the staff. Well, when I say the staff, the coach and the GM. Because a new coach, a new GM wants new toys.
New toys.
New toys.
And see that brings up the other problem, right? So if you look at, the way we're 1-5, things are not looking good. Your owner, from what I've heard now, is pissed. Rightfully so. He should be. Let's just get that straight. Now, I'll say this. I don't have any faith in him to make the right decision, because he hasn't made the right decision yet. Now, what I will say is this. I don't want Flores to get fired. I don't want to give up on Flores. The man was coach of the year candidate the last 2 years. So just because we started 1-5 this year doesn't mean I'm giving up on Flores. But what I will say is he did not surround himself with good enough coaching to move to the next level at all.
So let's look at it. You had the defensive coordinator, his first defensive coordinator, it wasn't a lateral move because in title it was assistant head coach, and he was in charge of the defense. But he left for whatever reason. Then you had another, and I haven't gotten to the offensive side. Then you had another defensive coach leave last year, and now you have Josh Boyer here, and this defense has not been as aggressive as it was in previous years. Now, there could be some other staff issues on that side of the ball. I mean, there are a plethora of issues on the offensive coaching staff side, where we've seen people leave and seen people get elevated that we thought might not be ready.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so maybe you have to look at, hey, Flo, how are you interacting with your coaches? You have to evaluate it and look at it at least and say, why such a constant transition, constant flip-flopping, of constant changing every year? You notice how I got that in there, right?
I was about to say the goal of this morning is to use flip-flops in as many context and words that we can.
So why is it that so many coaches have flip-flopped on their position with respect to staying with you on a staff and have gone other places? So that's something he's got to look at. But to me, the biggest issue, and I was one of the biggest supporters of this man, when you look at the draft choices in the top 2 rounds and you see what the Dolphins have gotten out of them so far in this tenure, you can't be happy with those results. You cannot. You had opportunity to get 7 impact guys. 7 impact guys. 7 people that's supposed to be rocks of your roster. And it hasn't come out that way at all.
No, but and here's the funny part too. You go to training camp, you look on paper, and I was a part of it. I said, bro, like this team on paper looks the best. And see, this is where I'm getting some of the label for flip-flopping. But I am calling a spade a spade. On paper, the team looked great at the beginning of the year. We were all about it. We were using words like depth. We got depth at secondary. We got depth at the defensive line. We got depth at some linebacker position. Like, we were using those words to explain the defense. And I wasn't getting any argument. I wasn't getting any pushback for using that. But let me tell y'all, it has not turned out to be the truth in any way, shape, or form at all. Noah Igbenogany, I don't even need to say that man's name.
So,
but that's where the flip-flopping comes in, because people are now like, well, Steven, you're set. No, they're 1-5. What am I supposed to say? That they're still going to be great? They're not.
Yeah, you can't. After you go out there and you stay on record, you're gonna be. You believe the Dolphins are gonna be 13 wins.
Yep.
11 wins.
Tua's gonna have an MVP season. I said all that.
Tua's gonna throw for 5,000 yards.
I said 4,000.
Oh, okay. You sure you're not flip-flopping on that 5?
Look here, D-Dub. I'm just saying.
So you can't keep throwing fantasy into reality, or fantasy at reality. The reality is the Dolphins are 1-5.
Yep.
And there is enough blame and enough lackluster play to spread out throughout the entire organization.
Offensive
From
line,
the
tight
GM,
end, wide receiver, head
everybody,
coach, position coaches.
Yep, everybody's got to
All of
look
it.
in that mirror and be like, look, what am I responsible for? What am I accountable for? And what do I need to do to get to that level? Because obviously they have not.
Yeah. Now here are some things. Good teams find a way to win. Bad teams find a way to lose.
Well, you know
we
what?
found a way to lose in Vegas. We found a way to lose against the Colts. We were in it in the fourth quarter against Tampa. Call it what you want. But we found a way to lose all those games. We should have beat Jacksonville. Found a way to lose that game. That's 4. That's maybe look, I'll give you the Tampa game. I'll give you all the Tampa game. But that's 3 extra wins right there. We should easily be 4-2.
Yeah.
4-2.
Well, first of all, to go back to that Jacksonville game for a slight second, I was right on my score prediction. I did say the Dolphins were going to score 20 points. I did say that. And I was correct for 50 minutes on Jacksonville's score. I just wanted to say that. You have,
but you weren't in the end.
Yeah, coulda, woulda, shoulda, which is exactly what you were just talking about with the coulda wins, the shoulda wins. The Dolphins are 1-5.
Andrevius, we were in it in Tampa. Who cares what the final score was? There was a point in the fourth quarter, we were 1 score removed. 1 score. It was what, 28-21, something like that, wasn't it D-Dub in the fourth?
It was 24-17 at
24-17
in the third quarter, middle of the third quarter.
I thought it was the fourth. I thought we were in the fourth.
I think it was in the third quarter. 24-17.
Look, at the end of the day, we were with them, okay? I don't care what nobody say. They did beat the brakes off us in the fourth quarter.
But hey, Pamela, yes, changing some play calls could change the outcomes of games, but every game comes down to about 4 or 5 play calls. Every game. And whether or not it's the players who didn't execute or the staff who didn't call the right play or didn't remind somebody of a situation that was going to come up, or a player that's needed to be on this roster isn't on this roster.
Correct.
Somebody has to take ownership and be accountable and take responsibility. And one other thing, who are the leaders on this team? Who are the leaders? And I'm not talking about captains, because there's a difference between the captain and being the leader. Who on this team is somebody going to look to in the fourth quarter and be like, look, we need this drive, or look, give me the damn ball, or hey, look, it's 3rd and 3.
Hey, swear jar, D-Dub.
I don't think that word is a cuss.
It is.
I don't think it's a cuss because it's in the Bible.
See, you're gonna throw the Bible in my face. Okay, I see what you did.
If you want to, I could say confounded.
Confounded.
And that's in the Bible as well. Confounded. So I will use the word confounded. And yes, big time. That's what I'm talking about. There aren't any leaders on this team, on offense nor on defense. There aren't any leaders. And we talked about, we poo-pooed and tried to lessen the impact of Bobby McCain being released. Maybe he was released 1 year too soon.
Kyle Van Noy.
You know,
I don't know if Kyle Van Noy would have made a difference as far as playing ability on defense, but I did say it last night, Elder, on TD's platform. but not on my platform. I would never do it on my
So
platform.
so you got one standard when you here in your house, and another standard when you go to somebody else's
Because
house.
in my house,
you put
we
your
are
feet
good.
up on
No,
you
no,
put your feet
no.
up on the
We're good.
table in somebody else's house.
We're good, wholesome family content here. Good, wholesome family. But at 1 o'clock in the morning on TD's channel, I'm keeping it real.
Okay.
I'm keeping it real.
All right.
Joe Lee said, Flip Floppers, #1 Miami fan morning show. All right. I got you, Joe Lee. That's all right. That's okay. Y'all, I know you. I'm gonna make some. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna make some flip flopping merchandise. Y'all better buy it. I know that.
And you know what? Just to tie all of this conversation into what is happening this week. This is another opportunity where the Dolphins get to watch a QB play that they had a chance to pick that has been a franchise quarterback for their team. The Dolphins had a chance to choose Matt Ryan. Who did they choose
please
instead?
Don't.
Who did they choose
please
instead?
Don't. No.
Who did they choose instead? Who did they choose instead? Come on, Steven, you know the answer. Who did they choose instead? In the comment section, who did the Dolphins choose instead of Matt Ryan? Who?
I'm not gonna say his name. I
Who?
refuse. You're not gonna get me with all the bad choices the Dolphins have made in the draft over the years. No, sir. You're not gonna get me.
Jake Long. So
they would have been, you chose
would have an offensive lineman.
They should have traded back in that draft.
Man, when you need a franchise quarterback, that's when you decided, oh, we're gonna choose Jake Long. Now, he had a solid career, solid, but it wasn't franchise impacting. That's why this Deshaun Watson thing could be what this franchise needs to truly jumpstart itself. And that's why so many people are jumping on the Deshaun Watson train.
And here's the thing. So here's the other part too, right? So some of the fan base, not all the fan base, some of the fan base feel like if we're talking about Deshaun Watson, that we're not true Miami fans, or that we're guys. I need y'all to be real for a minute. Everybody, we're 1 in 5. 1 in 5. Okay? 1 in 5, no matter what. We are one of the top low bottom 5 teams in the NFL on offense and in defense. We are not where we're supposed to be. We were supposed to take a step up this year. At minimum, be where we were last year. At minimum. Doing what they're doing right now, come on now. Like it's X is right. Look, 2001 passed on Drew Brees. 2005 passed on Aaron Rodgers. 2008 passed on Matt Ryan. 2012 passed on Russell Wilson.
And also passed on Lamar Jackson.
Yep, had a chance to get Lamar.
Had a chance to get Lamar Jackson. Okay, so I'm tired.
But even with all that being said, D-Dub, it doesn't matter because we didn't have the people in here to properly elevate talent to begin with anyway. So it goes, in my opinion, is you blame coaching, you blame owner, you blame front office, and then you got to blame ownership. Like, in my opinion, the person that we need to really be pointing the finger at is Stephen Ross. I like the guy. I do. But he's made some bad decisions, D-Dub. Like, decisions that somebody's got to man up for those decisions.
Well, let's put it this way. Stephen Ross is not getting rid of himself. Okay, he's not firing himself as the owner and trade.
Can he just own the team and not make the decisions no more? Can he let Dan Marino make the decisions?
Well, that's a possibility. I mean, that's what you want, somebody to make decisions. But if you had all that money, you're going to hold somebody accountable. Now, he's trying to hold that whole executive staff. You know, I'm not talking about the Serena and the Venus Williams part of the organization. Okay. I'm talking about those who have the football knowledge. That's who he's holding responsible for the product on the field. Okay. He doesn't go out there and make draft pick selections. Somebody is doing that. So we can't just point the finger totally at Stephen Ross and say he's the issue, sell the team, because he's got his fingers in the public relations aspects of it. He's got his fingers in building the new stadiums and doing all those other things and whatnot. So that's where you can expect him to have his fingers involved in it. But with
And by the way,
the football side,
I just real quick, they said get rid whatchamacallit. I like that Steven Marino for GM. I don't think Marino should be the GM, but I do think he should be like director of football operations. Like, you hire the person that's going to make all the day-to-day decisions.
Now, let's think about that for a second. Okay? In your memory, how many great players have ever made great coaches or GMs?
I mean, I want to say John Elway, but
John Elway's not was a
he's
good GM.
He's not showing that he's a good
Okay.
talent evaluator right now.
So
but nobody else really comes to mind. I mean, Ozzie Newsome. Ozzie Newsome was amazing.
So 1-1. Okay, go ahead, continue. And go to 5. Just go to 5.
I don't think I can. I don't think I can.
Okay, so my point is that when you are that great and held yourself to that high a level, talent-wise, sometimes you can't have the patience to realize that there is a humanity or a averageness to anybody else, because you played at such a great level. It's hard for those type of players.
That's why Wayne Gretzky cannot coach in the NHL. He tried. He was horrible.
Right. And for Larry Bird, he was somewhat successful, but he never got the paces over the hump. Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, there are examples of players who have been great
because they're holding their greatness as the talent evaluator.
Right. So that's why I said maybe having Dan Marino as the person in charge of director of player personnel or whatever title you gave him, put out there that in that instance, Black Dolphin brings up a good point. John Lynch, yes. I don't know about Michael Jordan, but John Lynch.
Oh, no. Them Hornets, they look good. They look good right now.
See.
By the way, Miami Heat tonight, season opener against the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks. Yes, I said it. It's about to go down.
All I'm going to say on that is, let's go Knicks.
Oh, no. No, we ain't about that life. Even if we were about that life, even Knicks fans ain't about that life because they know their season's end of disappointment, and y'all have the worst owner in all of sports.
And we still overcame that and made the playoffs.
All right.
There's
a crappy Eastern Conference. That's all I'll say.
Hey, don't the Heat play in that conference as well?
I'm just saying, we own the East.
Oh, please. Anyway, let's not even go down that rabbit hole. Okay.
Well, I was waiting. I was waiting.
Barely. Celtics up. Are you? Oh my goodness. Those fighting words, bro. Tracy Bailey,
Bam Bam OG Cam.
Location to me, Tracy. Location to me,
bro.
Argument.
I was waiting for the first person to be like somebody coming here with this fake news. He ain't traded yet.
Oh, that's Fins for life.
Yeah, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
You know,
Well, I'm on Twitter right now. That ain't happening. Y'all better stop with this fake news. All right, man. Let's get into Throwback Thursday because that's what you're here for. Let's talk about the all-time versus the Atlanta Falcons. So all-time versus the Atlanta Falcons. Here, let me pull up the screen here. Share. All right. Dolphins lead the series all-time 9-4-0. The first time they played was November of 1970. It was a loss. And the last time they played in the regular season was October of 2017, which was also a loss. The Dolphins have actually wait. This is Atlanta. Hold on. Give me 1 sec. No, it was a win for the Dolphins.
The Dolphins won the first game.
Yeah. I gotta go. I hate when they do that. My bad, dude. Let me get back into it. Hold on. Let me get this off here. Go ahead, talk for a sec while I fix this.
So one of the most notable Atlanta Falcons, just to give you some context, the Falcons came into the league, I believe, in 1962, 61 or 62, with the Minnesota Vikings as expansion teams. If you can imagine that, an expansion team, and for the NFL to
expand
into the South in that way, because Atlanta was one of the first teams in this whole region. Between them and then New Orleans, I think, followed the following year. So they were expanding into the South. And one of the most notable players that they had was a guy named Tommy Norbis. Tommy Norbis was a middle linebacker. And if Atlanta had won some games, some notable games, we would be talking about him in the same breath that we talk about Dick Butkus and Ray Nitschke, because he was that type of a linebacker. Sideline to sideline, stuck his nose in, hit, and also made impact plays. Tommy Norbis right now has passed away, and they say that he had one of the most severe cases of CTE that they had known up to this point. So when you think about that, and you think about the way players used to have 2 and 3 a days in practices, and you have that same mentality going up from college and in high school, it's very important that there are some evaluations of how the game is played. And although we as fans, we think about, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, they used to do this, they used to do that. But, this is one of the reasons why we have those changes, because we don't want more Tommy Norbises in the future.
So real quick, here's the all-time setup here. We got 1970 was a win, Dolphins, all the way to 2017, which is a win for the Dolphins. Atlanta has only won 4 times. But do any of these games stick out for you? It looks like every 4 years we face them. 2013, 2009, 2005, 2001, 98, 95, 92. So every 3 or 4 years, it looks like we really face them.
Well, I'll say this. It was the game that sticks out to me, of course, is the loss, and that was the
what
one
year?
That was 1998.
All right, let's go to that. So December 27th, 1998, in the Georgia Dome. Miami Dolphins 16, Atlanta Falcons 38. The stats for that day. Damon Heward was the quarterback a little bit for that day. Dan Marino was 21 of 36, for 320 yards, 1 touchdown and an interception. Damon Heward was 4 for 6, 64 yards, no touchdowns. The Atlanta Falcons quarterback that day was Steve DeBerg and Chris Chandler. DeBerg had 1 touchdown. Chandler had 2. Rushing for the Miami Dolphins that day, John Avery, Ronald Moore, Dan Marino. John Avery had 23 yards on 14 carries. And then the great Jamal Anderson for the Atlanta Falcons had 18 attempts for 103 yards and a touchdown. Receiving that day for the Miami Dolphins, Aronde Gatson.
You're getting that name. You're getting better and better.
I got it. I want Aronde to come on the channel. OJ McDuffie, who will be on the channel in the next couple of weeks. Troy Drayton, Lamar Thomas, Stanley Pritchett, Ronald Moore. And the Atlanta Falcons had Tony Martin, OJ Santiago. Ronnie Harris, Brian Kozlowski, and Terrence Mathis. And the punt, the kicking that day was Alindo Mare and the great Hall of Famer Morton Anderson.
Yep. You know, what stands out, because that was the year the Falcons went to the Super Bowl, and you always want to see how well your team does against the top teams in the other conference, and that was the case. And Dolphins came up short that day, but when you think about what was on the field that day between Marino and DeBerg, you had about 45 years.
That was in 98. So, yeah, I guess it would have been 45 years.
Yeah, you had about 45 years of NFL, 40 years of QB experience on the field. And a lot of times today, you may have 5 or 3, and in some matchups, not even 1 full season worth of experience on the field. So, Dolphin fans of old, we were so spoiled because we always knew we had basically a check the block most of the time, or at least a check. We would never blank in that QB experience box. So that's why, again, people are still clamoring for that franchise quarterback. And, I just got to keep reiterating it. It's hard to win when you don't have a franchise quarterback and an offensive line.
Fact about the Falcons from X. The NFL established the Falcons in 1965 to block the AFL from expanding to Atlanta. That's pretty 65. Interesting.
Yeah. And that's why I know Minnesota came in the league. Atlanta and New Orleans were all brought into the league in order to thwart the AFL expansion desires as well.
The AFL that took our wonderful running backs, Larry Zonka, took.
No, not that. That's the WFL.
Oh, the WFL. Yeah, you're right.
WFL. The AFL. They were having. They came in the league and they came into existence.
That's right. And they merged. They merged it. They merged in the 69, right?
69-70 season. Basically, they came to an agreement. The last Super Bowl where you had NFL, AFL was
Super Bowl 3 or
no, Super Bowl 4 between Kansas City and Minnesota.
Wow. Boy, you just a plethora of knowledge, boy. All right, real quick. Let's go to 95. 95. The Dolphins played the Atlanta Falcons at Joe Robbie Stadium on December 3rd, 1995. The Miami Dolphins 21, Atlanta Falcons 20. Won by 1 point. Dolphins had to score 12 points in the fourth quarter to win. So, let's go down and look at the stat sheet. That day, The quarterbacks for the Atlanta Falcons, Jeff George, 17 of 23, 210 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Miami Dolphins had this quarterback named Dan Marino. Maybe y'all heard of him. 35 for 50 attempts. 50 attempts in 1995, 50 passing attempts. That was unheard of back then. Straight unheard of. You didn't hear that. 343 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
I can tell you, just looking at this box score, right? The name that stands out to me, okay, and I know Irving Fryer, okay, yes, great talent, undeniable talent. But the one guy who's on this box score that could play today, Eric Metcalf. Eric Metcalf, he comes from...
No relation to DK.
No, he's not. I don't think he's related to DK Metcalf. I'm not sure. But his father, Terry Metcalf, played in the NFL as a wide receiver, sometimes used as a running back. Terry Metcalf was mostly a wide receiver. Number one speed burner, and Eric Metcalf did it all. Eric Metcalf could catch out of the backfield, could line up in the outside as a wide receiver, punt returns, kick returns. He was a player, Swiss Army knife on the offense, but he wasn't just one play. He could play the whole game and just move him to different positions. So therefore, you didn't have to replace him. And by formation, he could line up in any of those 5 different spots as a receiver or running back. Very, very explosive player. Check out his clips when you get a chance, people.
All right, let's go to the rest of the box score. Rushing that day for Atlanta, Craig Hayward.
Ironhead Hayward.
Yep. Eric Metcalf, Jamal Anderson. Jamal Anderson must have been a rookie or something or close to it.
He was a rookie then.
Yep. Miami Dolphins, Bernie Parmalee, Dan Marino, Keith Byers, and Terry Kirby all had rushes.
Wow. Terry Kirby. Wow. That's a name from the past. I remember that. I mean, Bernie Parmalee, UPS guy, had a great game with the Jets. Yes, he was.
Parmalee had 19 attempts for 70 yards and a touchdown that day.
But Terry Kirby, he had some good games and just never really had that signature game that would make him, in Don Shula's eyes, the guy. But very talented. Very talented. He came along, as you see in that backfield, Bernie Parmalee, Keith Byers. Keith Byers was a very, very good, at that point in time, running back, but fullback, running back, and H-back before they even had the term H-back, because he could catch out of the backfield. He could do those plays that what's the fullback from San Francisco's name? Wycheck. He could make plays like Wycheck, but he also could go down the field and run wheel routes and be very effective, but he also knew how to block. He knew how to block, Giuseppe. Okay? So he didn't have to worry about tipping the teams off. But as I digress back to this conversation, when you have a committee, a running back by committee, sometimes players get lost. And Terry Kirby's talent really got lost.
Never got a chance to be the
number one guy.
Yeah. All right, let's go to receiving that day. Atlanta, Eric Metcalf, Burt Emanuel, Tyrone Brown, Terrence Mathis. Go ahead.
So those players, all of those would probably be what some people would say number 2. They weren't big dogs. They weren't like they weren't like a DK Metcalf, but they were very talented. That was a talented when you look at those 4 players, or 3 of those 4 players, I don't know much about Tyrone Brown, but Bird Emanuel, Eric Metcalf, Terrence Mathis, those 3 guys, they would be
a good 1, 2, 3 wide receiving core today.
They would be a good wide receiving core, but they would need that superstar. But you could go to battle with them at those positions and be like, okay, we can win this game with them. We don't need a number 1, but if we had a number 1, yeah, we could definitely blow everybody out. But
all right, let's get to the Dolphins wide receivers on that day in 1995. Irving Fryer, 6 receptions for 78 yards and a touchdown. O.J. McDuffie, 6 receptions, 96 yards. Keith Byers, 5 receptions, 23. Eric Green, 5 receptions, 35.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Eric Green. He was a tight end with Pittsburgh Steelers. He came over. Big things were expected of him. He did okay. But again, the Dolphins had so many wide receivers. It was tough for any one guy to have 12 catches for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a nice box score considering the talent that they had on that team.
You got to remember, Dan Marino threw 50 attempts in this game. You know,
right? And you see, no one person had like 10.
No, 50. It's 6, 6, 5, 5, 4, 4.
Yeah.
3, 2.
Yeah.
It was very good distribution.
And Randall Hill, he was supposed to be a great one. He never came up. It was like he's like Devontae Parker right now.
Randall Hill, Gary Clark, Bernie Parmalee, and Terry Kirby round out the rest of the receiving core that day. For kicking, Morton Anderson and Pete Stojakovic.
Perfect Pete Stojanovich.
Stojanovich, number 10, right? Number 10.
Yeah, the Dolphins, like I said,
I feel like a lot of those big good kickers wore the number 10 for the Dolphins. Alindo Mare, Pete.
Perfect Pete, boy. Stojanovich, he was good. He was good. You know, came through in the clutch a lot.
Jeff Cross, defense, had a sack that day.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. He was a very good defensive end. Very good. Provided rush consistently.
All right, let's go. Let's see another box score. Let's go to 2001. 2001. Dolphins 21. Atlanta 14. Sold out crowd at Pro Players Stadium on December 30th, 2001. All right. That game, Michael Vick played for the Atlanta Falcons. Was 11 for 20, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Chris Chandler was 7 for 11, no touchdowns, 1 interception. And then Miami Dolphins had Jay Fiedler, 16 for 29, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception for 191 yards. Rushing that day, Michael Vick had 5 attempts for 63 yards. Maurice Smith, 15 attempts for 38. Bob Christian, 10 for 33. Rodney Thomas, 7 for 18. The Miami Dolphins running backs that day were Travis Minor, Jay Fiedler, Lamar Smith. And then receiving that day for the Atlanta Falcons, Bob Christian, Terrence Mathis, Tony Martin, Sean Jefferson, Brian Kozlowski, Brian Finnernan, Derek Rackley, and Maurice Smith. And the Dolphins had Travis Minor, Aronde Gatson, Chris Chambers, James McKnight, and Jed Weaver.
So
round out.
Some of the names
with Aronde and Travis Minor getting a touchdown each.
Some of the names that stick out to here, Tony Martin. He used to play for the Miami Dolphins. He was one of those guys who was stuck behind a lot of talented players.
He played for New England too, didn't he?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. He might have, because he did move around after he left the Dolphins. He did move around, but he was pretty good. He was pretty good. Now, just looking at the receiving core, I see another name, and like I said before, that guy we talked about before, Terrence Mathis, he was good. That's why he was sticking with the Falcons for a long time. Let's see. You mentioned, as far as the quarterbacks are concerned, okay, I'll go back to this. You had future franchise quarterbacks in this game.
Michael
Future.
Vick.
Yep. You know, I want you all to think about this season, how many times the Dolphins are going to face QBs that they could have had. This season. How many times they're going to face a quarterback that they could have had just this season? Just think about it, okay?
You know, here's something that I find in the stat box very interesting, and I don't remember this. Kickoff returns. Brock Marion was our kickoff returner. I don't know why I don't remember that, but I don't. He had 3 kickoff returns for a total of 56 yards. He was not great, but I found that very interesting. And then punt returns were Jeff Ogden and Dedrick Ward. Our punter that day was Matt Turk, and kicker that day was Alindo Mare, and the kicker for Atlanta was Jay Feely. Defense for the Dolphins that day. Brock Marion got an interception, returned it back for a touchdown. Patrick Surtain, 2 interceptions that day. Man, this is the time. It was a solid secondary. Secondary.
That defense, the defense actually was the strongest part of that team.
Zach Thomas had 1.5 sack. Lorenzo Bromell, 1 sack.
Lorenzo Bromell, pretty good player.
Jason Taylor, half sack. Terry Cousin, a sack. That's a good defense, man.
I mean, you had Surtain, you had Madison, and
Wally Ogunleye is there.
Yeah, that was a very good defensive
Sean
team.
Wooden, Tim Bowens,
and see, that's another name, Tim Bowens. He didn't put up 15 sack seasons, but he plugged up the middle. I want the Dolphins to get a real true nose tackle. Move Raekwon Davis to edge, where he can utilize his explosiveness more, because he would be a terror on the outside, on a defensive end, in a 3-4 defense. Get yourself a real nose tackle, somebody who's 6'1", 6 foot, 340 pounds, a fire plug, a Wilfork type nose tackle. And I know the Dolphins have tried to do that with Benito Jones and with all the other players that they've acquired in free agency and whatnot, but they need that. I mean, that's how you stop run plays from happening, when you got somebody who can actually fill up two gaps and occupy a center and a guard continually.
I want to go to another game. Okay, 1983.
Wow,
1983 at the Orange Bowl.
That's the year I graduated high school.
Boy, you was a young stud. Don't even lie about that, D-Dub. You were a young whippersnapper. Young whippersnapper.
I could bite through nails back then, boy.
All right, let's go to this. 1983 stat. Atlanta Falcons, December 10th, 1983. Dolphins, 31. Falcons, 24. The Dolphins were 11-4. The Falcons were 6-9. All right, you guys ready? I think this is going to be a fun box score.
Oh, man.
Steve, we'll get to it. Steve Bartowski was the quarterback that day for Atlanta. 1 touchdown, no interceptions for 175 yards. and Super Bowl quarterback. He's not a Super Bowl winning, but he did. Don Strock, right?
Don Strock played in a Super Bowl. I'm trying to think. Did he play in the game? I'm trying to remember because that was the during the Woodley Strock. I don't know if he got in the game and actually played, but
he was on the roster.
He was on the roster. He was definitely on the roster.
18 for 22.
He was the bridge between those 70s between Marino and Woodley.
And David Woodley, yeah.
Yeah.
229 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rushing that day, William Andrews, Gerald Riggs, Steve Bartowski. The Dolphins had David Overstreet, Andra Franklin, Tony Nathan, Woody Bennett, and Don Strock all had rushes that day.
That name, David Overstreet, for some of you University of Oklahoma fans and Miami Dolphin old heads, we all know the sad story of David Overstreet. You know, he lost his life trying to, I believe, save someone else from drowning, and he lost his life. But David Overstreet.
Was he still playing in the NFL?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And Andra Franklin, he was a fullback, basically. And that's how, at that point in time, you could play fullback and still get that many rushing attempts.
He had 16 attempts for 51 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Overstreet had 12 attempts. The stock market's open.
That's right, baby.
David Overstreet had 12 attempts for 83 yards and a touchdown.
Now, this is probably one of the seasons that Don Strock really, truly felt as though he was going to get a full opportunity at being the starter. And
they were 11-4 at this time, dude.
Yeah,
they look good.
I look at this box score and I see these names: Uwe von Schaman. I mean, he was another one of those line of great Dolphin kickers. And again, when you expect excellence, let me go
before you get down there. Let me get to the receivers. Before you get to the kickers. William Andrews, Stacey Bailey, Floyd Hodge, Arthur Cox, Billy Johnson.
Oh my goodness.
Alama Matthews, Junior Miller, Bo Robinson, Gerald Riggs was receivers for Atlanta. And then the Dolphins had Mark Duper. By the way, just so everybody knows, shameless little plug here, Mark Duper will be at Saturday night Sinbad Sports on November 6th for a live VIP autograph signing at the meet and greet. If you guys want tickets for this, you got to go to SinbadSports.com. SinbadSports.com. So Mark Duper will be there for that. Mark Duper was there that day. Bruce Hardy, Tony Nathan, Darrell Harris.
Duriel.
Nat Moore, Joe Rose, David Overstreet, and Dan Johnson.
So I look at this box score with the receivers. Okay, first of all, William Andrews, he was a running back. But the name that stands out to me for the Falcons, Billy White Shoes Johnson.
Billy White Shoes Johnson.
Now, the guy was a very, very good, like Devin Hester-ish, like special teamer. And he wore white shoes. And when he scored a touchdown, he would do this dance. I'm not doing that dance.
No, I'm going to need you to do. I need you to get up on the bed and do the dance.
Nope, not going to happen. Not going to happen. The only time I dance on this bed is when I am.
Hey, rated G. Rated G.
When it's appropriate. Okay. So, but Billy White Shoes Johnson, he was a very good special teams player. He played for Atlanta. He and Houston Oilers, and I remember him in some of those key games for the Oilers and for the Atlanta Falcons, where his play was impactful. And then you look at Gerald Riggs. He was up and coming at that point in time. he would end up having, I think he had 1,000-yard season as a running back. So, you look at the Dolphins wide receivers that day.
Tony Nathan and Joe Rose both had touchdowns.
And Nat Moore as well. He didn't have a touchdown, but you see, this was, and I can't remember exactly if Clayton was selected that year or if he was selected the year after. I think he was selected, but if Clayton is not on the field and you got other players on the field, just think how great that receiving core was at that point in time. And that following year, I think they chose a quarterback.
What was his name? I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about, T-Dub.
So
Ryan Smith, Submarino.
Yeah. But
Limo.
you look at the talent on this team. Tony Nathan. Bruce Hardy. He was a pretty good tight end. Joe Rose was a pretty good tight end. They didn't have this wasn't a superstar tight end core, but it was very good.
Okay, let's go to the punters and kickers. Reggie Roby was our
Reggie
punter.
Reggie Roby.
Reggie Roby was our punter that day. And I can't say our kicker's name, man. You're going to have to say our kicker's name.
Uwe von Schamann. German. So
Uwe von Schamann.
Germany has provided a lot of kickers for the NFL over the years. And another name you see here on the box score, punt returner, Fulton Walker, who for 3 decades had the NFL record for the longest kickoff return for a touchdown in the Super Bowl. So put a little respect on that name, Fulton Walker.
And then defense, Mike Baumhauer and Mike Charles are in the box score for 1.5 sacks each.
Yep. Bob Baumhauer, I remember, I think his number was 83, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty good defensive end nose tackle. He could play both positions. Let me see what else in this box score that stands out for me. I've always been a big fan of Duriel Harris because he came along at a time when Paul Warfield was just, he was selected during that time. No, wait a minute. That's Freddie Solomon. I'm sorry. I get a little confused, but Duriel Harris, good wide receiver. Dolphins had a lot of talent in that wide receiver room. I mean, when you think about, I'm looking at this, Tony Nathan, Duper, and Moore, man, you can go to battle with that. That's your top 4. Definitely. And not injury prone at all. You definitely go into a season ready with that.
Okay. Breaking news.
The Dolphins have not signed Deshaun Watson as of yet.
They have not traded for Deshaun Watson as of yet. Oh, you knew where I was going. You knew I was about to troll y'all. Yeah. All right, one more box score. The very last game that we played against them, which was October of 2017. We seem to play them in October. October or December. October 15th, 2017, at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Dolphins were 3-2. Atlanta was 3-2. And let's go. So that day, quarterbacks were Jay Cutler, the infamous Jay Cutler for the Miami Dolphins.
Captain Cuddy.
19 of 33, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Matt Ryan, 24 for 35, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Just so you know what the score was, it was 20 Dolphins, 17 Falcons. Rushing that day for the Miami Dolphins was Jay Ajayi, 26 attempts for 130 yards. Damian Williams Super Bowl running back Damian Williams, I might
Well, you
add.
had two Super Bowl winning
Yep,
winning
Jay
running back.
Ajayi won with Philly. You're right. And then Jay Cutler had one. And then Atlanta had Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman, and Matt Bosher. Receiving that day for the Miami Dolphins, Jarvis Landry, 8 receptions, 62 yards and a touchdown. Kenny Stills, 4 receptions, 49 yards and a touchdown. Julius Thomas, Damian Williams, Jakeem Grant, Jay Ajayi, and Leonte Carew. The Atlanta Falcons had Austin Hooper, Julio Jones, Tyler Gabriel, Justin Hardy, Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman, and Marvin Hall. Punt returns, Jakeem Grant. Just so you know, 1 return on punts for 8 yards. Kickoff returns was Kenyon Drake, 2 returns for 35. Our punter that day was Matt Hack. And our kicker that day was Cody Parkey, who was 2 for 2. 1 from 30 plus, 1 from 40 plus. And defense that day, Rashard G. Jones, 5, had an interception. In sacks, there was Ndamukong Suh, Cameron Wake. Both had a sack. That's your box score.
For the most part. So when I think of this team, I think about how the focus was on one player. Okay. And when you sign that one player and you don't have anything to back it up, it causes deficiencies in your roster. So I like Ndamukong Suh. I'm glad he got his money. I'm glad he got his big bag. But it left some holes that we're still feeling the effects of. Jay Ajayi, and Damian Williams. Man, if the Dolphins could have been more patient, to have any type of running game, would have been nice. And Jay Ajayi, I used to rag on some of my Jet fans. The Jay Ajayi train is running over you because the J train, we have a J train in New York City, and if you're a New Yorker, you know that the J train is there and established. So it was funny to have the J train coming from Miami running all over the Jets. Let's see.
I mean, look, here's the reality. That team had Jay Cutler. That's an Adam Gase team. We were sitting at 3-2 when that game happened. Look, it kind of falls back into where we're at now, right? Like, it was a mediocre team with some talented players on it.
But you don't have a franchise quarterback. And like I've said from the rip, you need a franchise quarterback. You got to find him. And once you find him, you hold him. You do whatever you got to do to keep him happy so that you have success. We have not had that franchise quarterback since number 13. So we need to get it. If we don't have it with Tua, go get it with somebody else, because I'm sick and tired of seeing second and third tier QBs play third and fourth QB level. And I'm not saying that that's Tua right this second, but overall, for the last 20-some years, that's what the situation in Miami has been, where you've had second and third tier QBs playing third and fourth level. I want tier one QB playing like a tier one quarterback. That's what I want. That's why I lament Rodgers. That's why I lament doggone Matt Ryan. That's why I lament Lamar Jackson. That's why I lament all the quarterbacks that the Dolphins missed on for the last 2 decades. I'm sick and tired of it, but I still keep my fandom, but I'm sick and tired of it.
No doubt. All right, man, let's start wrapping up the show. What do you think today, Atlanta versus Miami? Where do you think this game's going to go to on Sunday?
Say that again.
Like, what do you believe is going to happen?
What do I believe that's going to happen? Wow.
Where do you look at both teams currently as they stand?
Man, you're going to put me on the spot.
I'm not necessarily asking for a score prediction, but what I will say is,
until otherwise proven, you have to look. You have to change your perspective of what the expectations are for this team. So that being said, you look at the current psychological, physical makeup of this team.
mm-hmm.
You have to say, right now, Atlanta should do well against us,
Mm-hmm.
or should pull out a win. I had to finish that. I had to finish that statement.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Now, do I think that this team needs a leader? Yes. Somebody has to step up and be the leader on both sides of the ball. And I haven't heard about any team meetings or unit meetings, but somebody need to grab this team by the shirt collar and have I don't know what your spiritual power is. Some people say come to Jesus moment. Whatever the case may be, they need to have those conversations about what direction they want to go to. What do they want to put on tape for the rest of the season? If you think that this is not your home for the next 3 years, what are you going to be willing to put on tape to show some other team that, hey, I'm worthy? What are you going to show the organization for the rest of the season that shows, hey, I'm worthy to stay here? I'm one of the guys who wants to be part of the solution. Because right now, most of these guys, they are falling short of what the expectations are.
100%. 100%, man. I couldn't agree with you more. I really think at the end of the day, the Miami Dolphins, not that bottle that you keep squeezing, I
got a little quirk about recyclable bottles. I have to crush them down.
Gotta crush them down.
Yep.
Recycle. Man, you know what? I want to end on this because I don't want to end on just a sourpuss note. Because I truly have to admit that I'm a little nervous about the game on Sunday. This will be like the first game. Like so here's the thing. I'm watching the game from my cell phone at the NASCAR track on Sunday. That's what I'll be doing during the NASCAR race.
Hold on 1 second, Steven. John Christopoulos. What game have the Dolphins scored 28 points in this year? So, although I hope your prediction comes true, what game have the Dolphins scored 28 points? So, that's why I dialed back my prediction last week with a 20-point Dolphin, what the score was, because the Dolphins offense has not shown any explosiveness to get up to 28 points. So that's all I'm saying. I'm still hoping the Dolphins can win, but for you to have the expectation that the Dolphins are going to score 28 points, what proof, what justification is there?
There isn't. He said none.
Yeah. But I know, keep hope alive, baby. I got you. I'm still wearing this is the fire red Miami Dolphin hat. I'm still about the Dolphins. I just want to see it.
All right, look, man, you're a big stock market guy. I'm going to put you on the spot. Give me 3 real quick in 2 minutes or less. Give me 3 stocks that people should look out for. Give me 3 stocks people should look out for.
Hut and
I put you on the spot.
Yeah, because I don't want to give out some stuff, but Devon Energy and if you want to go on a long play and you got the money, Denison Mines.
So say those three one more time so people get them.
Hut 8 Mining, Devon Energy, HUT is Hut is ticker symbol HUT, DVN for Devon Energy, and Denison Mines is DNN.
All right, y'all heard him. There's three. If you like the stock market, you play the stock market. There's three stock market companies you should look out for. D-Dub, man, I loved hanging out with you today. This has been fun, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But let's get a win this week, baby. Let's get a win. I know we have a lot of stuff, a lot of turmoil going on. But guess what? Sometimes all you need is one moment where you can see the break in the tide. One moment. You find that spot, you find that azimuth, get on that, put that ship on the right direction, and next thing you know, you in doggone the Bahamas chilling.
Sipping on a
That's
Mai
what I
Tai.
want to have happen for the Dolphins this week. I know we've gone through some turmoil, but doggone it, let's keep rooting for them for that dub, baby.
And my last question to you: does this trade happen
Yes.
this weekend? This weekend?
Yes.
Really?
I'm hoping it happens. What time is it? 9:49?
Yeah.
At 9:49 and 30 seconds. That's how hopeful I am. I want it to happen.
Boy, from your mouth to God's ears, boy. But I'm getting off because I got a whole bunch of stuff to. I haven't even packed. I haven't even packed for Kansas City yet.
What's Pamela saying? D-Dub, come to Pamela moment? I don't understand. I get it. I know who Pamela is, of course.
No. Pamela is saying like Pamela is very positive and knows that we're going to turn this around and be good.
Okay,
gotcha. And yeah, so that's where Pamela is. That's where Pamela is.
All right.
Bro, I love you, man. This has been fun today, and
yeah, every week, man, I find some new brain cells that I had dust on from memory banks, and
bro, your knowledge of just like old school, like knowing that stuff is so crazy to me.
Hey, I was a fan before the internet, baby. You had to memorize it because it wasn't on record.
It's so crazy.
You know?
Yeah. All right, man. I got stuff to do.
Right,
I love
man,
you, brother.
Try to make $1 today on the computer.
Hey, you owe $1 to the swear jar. $1, sir.
I'll take care of it.
$1 to the swear jar.
I take care of it. But
if it doesn't pay, inflation's happening. I'm putting interest on it. 100% interest.
I'll tell you this though. I'll pay it, but it's with protests because doggone it, those words are in the Bible. It ain't like I dropped a 4-letter, or some of the other words that I hear frequently causing contributions to the swear jar. So I will pay just because, okay. But
John Christolakis says D-Dub's an encyclopedia. What's an encyclopedia?
Wow. It's Google. It's a Google that you can carry in your hand.
Bro, like, I still think it's so funny. Like, we have encyclopedias at the house. And, we did have one. And I remember when my son was a little bit younger, he picked up one and asked what it was. And I'm like, I knew what an encyclopedia was from a very small child. So I always find it funny. But I remember having them in school. Like, just that's how you looked up stuff to do book reports.
Oh, yeah. Just imagine having to write out what you quoted. I mean, and have to write out all of that information on a quote or type it. And you're like, man, this is a long reference, a long resource that you just have to write out in your book report or in your report. Now it's real easy, man. You can quote the citation, boom, boom, copy, boom, put it right in the document.
I know
y'all got it easy,
bro. I wish I was. No, I don't wish. I don't ever want to go back to school. School's not for me. But what I'll say is I always find it funny because, it's crazy how easy it can be for these kids nowadays. The access of what they have access to.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The
and
knowledge.
And that's why, if I always want to give encouragement, because right now there's so many ways that you can get knowledge now that you should not be somebody who's walking around here unknowledgeable of a subject, because all you have to do is get on there. Now, if you don't have access to it, there are ways to get around that by going to the library, going to somebody else's house. I got you. Okay. But if you just want the knowledge, it's
there for you. And there's a plethora of it. There's a plethora. Now, not all of us can have the brain cells that D-Dub has and just know Billy White Shoes and Eric Metcalf and all these players. I'll be like, how do you know all these players, bruh?
I remember watching doggone.
I remember players on my team, but I don't know if I would remember 20 years from now players from other teams.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. You will remember. You just to bring it into context. You will remember something that Nick Chubb did 20 years from now. You'll remember it, and you'll remember Jason Sanders, and you'll remember
Uwe Von Schaum.
Let's just the same way I remember Uwe Von Schaum, and I can say that name and roll right off the tongue like real easy. But you'll have those memories. You'll have them. As long as you stay away from certain things. Drinking milk and cookies and lead a healthy life. You remember it.
I love me some milk and cookies. Shout out to R.I.P. to Bernie Mac. Yo, man, like I don't know if I'm gonna have
baby. I remember him.
I whatchamacallit? I've had way too many concussions. I know I probably got CTE, boy. Like I'm not even playing like that. I've had 11 concussions.
Well, you need to make sure that you get some sort of evaluation. And I'm being serious now. Evaluation and
what's an evaluation? I got you, man. I know I do all that stuff. Yeah. I got you.
All right.
I play.
And yes, I remember.
I play my little crosswords. I remember
both Lamar Jacks. Oh, man, please. You bringing up names, Big Ties, and I'm like, Lamar Jackson. That's the QB that we should have had. I'm sorry. I was banging on the table for him 4 years ago, and I'm like, before I got on these platforms,
flip side, I've had 9 concussions between Pee Wee football, middle school football, and high school football, and I had 2 concussions for things that had nothing to do with football. And let's just say they were times in my life when I thought I could throw hands, and I cannot fight for nothing. So yeah, let's just say I don't ever need to throw my hands up for nothing, except the concert.
I don't know if it's Jean Prinska or Gene Prinska, but now they got players that have brands now, so they don't want to get so much into the nickname. They want to put their name out there. So maybe that's the reason why they don't have as many nicknames as they used to.
Big Taz says, don't forget to put your flip-flops in your bag. Flip-floppers, the #1 Miami fan morning show. Hope you all had a good time hanging out with me this morning on Flip-floppers.
Now, I'm going to use this. Are you going to flip-flop and allow fans to have another 30 minutes of you, or are you going to stay the course?
I gotta go. I was trying to get off here right at 10. So,
all right.
But,
well, you know what?
I love you, man. You're the man, brother.
Thanks for the opportunity. All right. Keep your heads up, Fin fans, and go Dolphins.
Go Dolphins.
Go
bro.
Dolphins.
Oh,
Dolphins.
John Chris.
Go Dolphins.
I got
you.
Go
Dolphins. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. I'm out, baby.
I'm out. Be good. All right, guys. I hope you all had a good time on the morning show this morning. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. Donate to the channel. And, be on the lookout for some great stuff. Tomorrow morning, Spread Kindness Friday. Let's do it, man. I love y'all. Y'all the best fans in the world. And I love what y'all do. Peace.